Hello, everyone. We are live. I'm very excited to host Aaron Bailey and Patrick Jager. I think we can't hear Patrick, but he'll solve it. I'm just going to give you what we're going to do today. Hello, everyone. We are live. Oh, I'm getting feedback, so good. Today, I'm going to ask Patrick and Aaron, who are relocation specialists to Costa Rica, a few simple questions that mostly will pertain from the Canadian perspective. Now, a lot of this information will be good to you, even if you're coming from other countries, but specifically because I work mostly with Canadians, mostly with Paula Garto by Tamarindo. So the questions will be directed there. And we're going to do a very quick, bouncing around, and just to give you like a taste of more. Patrick, can we hear you? Not yet. Just use your computer microphone.
Okay, how about now?
Now, yes.
There we go.
Great.
Very good, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm starting now. So hello, everyone. Yossi Kaplan here, your friendly Toronto, Costa Rica realtor. And today I'm very, very excited to host my new two best friends, Patrick Jager and Aaron
Pura
Bailey.
Vida.
How are you, boys?
Pura Vida, good to see you.
Pura Vida.
Okay, so today's focus is, and thank you for coming on board, is to get Canadians mostly, because I'm in Ontario and Toronto, and many of us are moving to Costa Rica either part-time or full-time. So obviously there's something we discussed last time with Anna, what happens part-time, full-time financially. But today we're going to speak more on what is it like to live in Costa Rica and what you need to know and all these little things. Now, I'm very glad I found Patrick and Aaron because they are relocation specialists. They're not referral. They're not real estate people like me. All they do is help you go from here to there. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. So we'll keep it short and bouncy. Today we're speaking to 50 plus Canadians, but anyone else really, but some things will pertain to Canadians that want to move to Costa Rica. We'll explain what a relocation specialist is. We'll explain why we do not have referral fees and so on and so forth. I'm going to go right to the meat of it if you guys okay with it, because people's time's very short. And I'm going to ask you actually about yourself at the end and your company at the end. But I'm going to start right with the topics.
Great.
And the first topic is various considerations for relocating, visa, housing, banking, insurance, food and culture, and the medical. Take it away.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things. That's a huge list. So we're gonna narrow that down. Maybe you might have to remind us where we are on the list. I'll start. So visa requirements. The most important thing to know on visa requirements is very easy from Canada to come into Costa Rica. On a tourist visa, it's a 6-month visa. They stamp. They want to make sure that you do have a flight home. You can always extend that. We call them border runs for people that want to just cross into another border, Nicaragua, Panama, go to Guatemala, go back to Canada for a bit. The second you come back, that clock should start over. I say should because it really is the discretion of the guard. So that is just to say that while you're looking at where you want to live in this amazing country, it's not like you have to go in with a visa in mind. As a matter of fact, Aaron and I really believe that. Oh, yeah, we're having a weird thing with your system. He's going to bounce out and come back too. Aaron and I really believe that you should not apply for a visa before you move. The main reason for that is it really depends on how you're moving. If you're moving on a renter's visa or you're moving on an investment visa, meaning you've bought a house, versus you move on a pension visa, they all have different ramifications. How you pay into the healthcare system, all those things change. The amount you pay, the benefits you have change depending on which visa you want to go for. So we talk about that very specifically because it's important for us to remind people that find your slice of paradise first. Make sure comfortable with that, then apply for the appropriate visa. You have the time. You can get in and out of the country. That shouldn't be the issue. There are some that will sell you on visa first. Get your visa before you come down. That's a different type of thing. That's totally fine. That's just not the way that we would tend to think of visas. But there really are, for your audience, there's really 3 visas to think about. First and foremost, the investor visa, which would be if you buy property, you only need to have $150,000 that you invest. And that can be in a combination of things: property, car, invest in a business. So that's the first type of visa. The second type of visa is, depending on your age, the pension visa. So this is for someone that is, but there are a lot of requirements, and I really want to make sure that you go look, and we'll have links to us. We can talk, if you want to talk to us, we'll have links so that you know how to get a hold of us to talk through these. But the pension visa, you have to prove that you have a source of pension income moving forward. And then the third is a renter's visa, the rentista, which also you have to prove you have a certain amount of money in the bank every month to be able to prove that you are. And again, part of the reason for this is they want to make sure that you're not a drain on their system. They want to make sure that if they're bringing you in on a visa, you can take care of yourself, financially, health, what have you. So those are kind of the 3 big visas to think about. Aaron, anything I missed on that?
My apologies. My internet is not behaving today. I'm on vacation in the United States, and I have better internet in Costa Rica. So here we are. No, I think you summed it up well, Patrick. Those are the visa options. There are, for a vast majority of people, those are the 3 visa options.
Great. Let's go to the second mini question, which is housing options. Just very briefly, what are housing options are for people that come to live in Costa Rica? Mm-hmm. Either part-time, and we call it snowbirds, people that come for 6 months or less because we retain our rights, our health rights and all that in Canada, or full-time. What are the housing options?
Yeah. Costa Rica is really a developed country and has all of the housing options that you would find in other countries such as Canada. You can buy a lot, you can buy a house, you can buy a condo, you can rent a condo, you can rent a house. So really, you've got a lot of options available to you, just as you would in Canada.
Mm-hmm. The biggest thing to think about, too, there's a couple of things to think about. One, the housing in Costa Rica is built to last. Because of where we are in the world, there are storms and there are earthquakes. So the houses are solid as a rock. They're not going anywhere. They're very well built. We typically look at housing with 2 mindsets, and this is not in any way to sound derogatory, but it's really about expectation. 1 is Tico housing, and 2 is Western style. Right. The difference of that is a Western style house. Those of us that come from farther up in North America, we tend to want the creature comforts. We want our AC, we want our dishwasher, we want, top of the line range, we want blah, blah, blah. Costa Ricans don't feel the need for all that. It feels excessive to a lot of people. A washer and dryer, they might have a washer, but they definitely most don't have dryers because you air dry. So part of looking at housing is thinking about what is your ability to forego some of your creature comforts, or do you really need your creature comforts? And then that's where a nice new home that's considered with a very Western mindset is going to come in. And I think that that's a really important thing because, let's be honest, Costa Rica is not the cheapest country in Central America. There's a lot of reasons why the 3 of us on this call have called Costa Rica home. It's the country that we love. It's the country that has the most stable government. It has, quality of life. It has happiness index. It has all these things. But really thinking through, we go with our clients. We make sure our clients really think through where am I on the scale of what do I feel I need? so that we can find the right housing in the right community. We also do a 124-point survey when we start with someone, because a lot of times you see dichotomies. I really want to live by the beach, but I don't like bugs. Or I really want to live in the mountains, but I don't like rain. Well, if you don't like rain, Costa Rica might not be a country for you because it rains a lot. So I think with housing, the reality is there's housing for everyone. I overwent my welcome with that one. Sorry. Moving on.
Thank you. And I will mention I do come from the Western style, which I like my things. They're not comfort. I need them. And that's why I joined the Playa Lagarto, because you can build your own home or you can buy one of the pre-made villas. It's in the background behind me. And those will have everything you expect. It's just the same kitchen I have behind me here. It's what you'll find there. All right.
Yeah.
Banking. A lot of people ask me, can I have a bank account? How do I get a bank account? Can I have Visa in Costa Rica? How do I transfer money there? Like, don't give me the whole, like, ISO answer, but
yeah. We'll give you the quick answer. Yeah. Banking is, world class, very similar to Canada or the United States. You can open on a tourist visa. It's a little bit of there's some hoops to jump through. On a tourist visa or on other visas, you can open a bank account in US dollars and in Costa Rican colones. And then you can easily wire transfer money down, just like you would to any other bank account. Pretty simple, straightforward. Keep your bank account maybe in Canada. There's some nuance to the strategy, but it's pretty straightforward.
Do you have to physically be present in Costa Rica to open a bank account, or can someone open it on my behalf, or maybe I can go to a Toronto branch and do it here, if you know?
You go ahead, Patrick.
No, go. You're our banking expert.
Banking is one of the most frustrating parts of setting up your life in Costa Rica. It's not long term. Once the accounts are set up, it's pretty straightforward, but it does take some hoops to jump through. You have to be present. You have to walk into a branch. That branch manager might say, "Great, here's a new account." If they say no, then you might have to go to a different branch. We've done this with clients before. Sometimes the branch doesn't quite know the national rules around opening an account for foreigners. But set aside a day, 6 hours or so to navigate that. And then once it's all set up, it's easy. And this is something we help clients go through. In terms of opening an account in Canada that you can use in Costa Rica, I'm not aware of that. That's a possibility. I know Scotiabank is Canadian, right?
Yep, it is.
And there are branches in Costa Rica, so that might be a possibility.
I think one of the things to think about, and I think it's important for people to understand, is that Costa Rica is a neutral country. It's the Switzerland of Central America, which is one of the reasons people love coming here, because it really has this sense of I'm at peace here. If you think about who's to our north and to our south, part of the reason for this is the government really wants to be very discerning on and scrupulous to look at who you are. If you're bringing money into the country, let's just be honest, they don't want money laundering. They want to make sure that you are who you are. They want to keep the country safe. They want to keep the country respectful. So they do a lot of what they do. It seems weird for us. It seems like a lot of hoops to jump, but they're doing it to protect everyone. And they really are. I personally take a lot of pride in the fact that they go that extra mile.
Thank you. Really, in 60 seconds about insurance, people asking me about life insurance, if it ain't in Costa Rica, and of course, health insurance, most important.
Insurance is something that is very easy to get. Car, your home, your car, we tend to in the West overinsure compared to Costa Ricans, but we would always highly encourage that. Health insurance, there are brokers that can look at private health insurance in Costa Rica. If you have your residency, you will also be part of the CAHA for public health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And then life insurance, I am not familiar with life insurance, but it's important to get that. One thing I would say with insurance, make sure you need to have a will in Costa Rica for the house that you buy, so that house is transferable between people in your family, but that also will help with your insurance.
That's a great point, Patrick. Anna, that I interviewed last week, also mentioned that it's not enough to have your will in Canada. You must have one in Costa Rica. Otherwise, you could be in trouble.
Right.
Correct.
I mean, you're not in trouble because you're not there anymore, but everyone else.
Your family might be. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Food and culture. I know it's a huge topic, but just a few words about food, what to expect, and can I get my steak and potatoes on a Sunday night?
Absolutely. I think the thing to know, though, is that Costa Rica is the one country that Spain, once it conquered, kind of left alone. So if you're looking for the rich culinary experience of a lot of Central American Spanish-influenced countries, you're not going to get that. It is a very beans, rice, chicken, steak. It's a very simple, very basic, but it's a very healthy diet. The cows are different. The cows are not the same as we have in further North America. So the beef tastes a little different, but it is a very spectacular cuisine. It's very healthy, but you also get, Peruvian food, and like you can get anything you want. Argentinian steaks that are imported.
Lots of pizza.
Lots of pizza.
Yeah, and I will say, when I lived in Nicaragua for a bit, and I visited Costa Rica a bunch of times. And the food tastes real good. Everything, because it's grown in the sun. Here in Canada, every avocado is shipped from Mexico, and it doesn't ripe properly.
That's right.
Right. Ours are off our trees.
Yeah.
Okay,
very good. What about the local culture? Like, can someone feel comfortable?
Absolutely. Everyone is so incredibly welcoming and warm to foreigners. The people are just fantastic. I've made so many friends, and I think you'll fit right in, especially if you take the effort to learn how to speak Spanish.
That's the key. You don't have to be fluent in Spanish, but you have to prove we're coming to their country. I think that whole idea of the ugly American really is the ugly foreigner. And it's the foreigner that expects people to talk to them in English and have their idioms and understand what they're saying. You're in their country, and a little graciousness as it relates to that goes a very, very long way. But there's a reason Pura Vida means what it means. I mean, there's a graciousness to that. So if you put in a little effort, you get a massive return.
Similar with us, like we have a large French francophone population, and je m'appelle Yossi. That's pretty much enough, and then you can go to English.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, what I got? Medical, dentist, eye care, meds, drugs. How does that work? Doctor visits, hospital.
Aaron, do you want to take it? Or you want me to take
it? Go for it, Patrick.
So I think the big thing is it is world-class medical. Like some of the best, there's a lot of medical tourism to Costa Rica for a reason. There's world-class medical. If you are the Caja system is very much like the Canadian system in that it's socialized, so you can get everything, but you might wait. There are a lot of people that do kind of a bifurcated thing. So if it's something they need to do and they can wait, they go through the Caja. If they didn't do it immediately, they go through private pay. Private pay in Costa Rica is vastly less expensive than it is in Canada or the United States. It's if you keep an insurance plan also in Canada because you get it through your work, for example, you might want to look at seeing what their reimbursement is for international. Some have very strong reimbursement. That way you can feel very comfortable going to private. Some things like dentists, I know a lot of people that do private dentists because it's cheap enough that they'd rather just not have to go through the Caja for that. But there really is something for everybody in terms of levels of care, levels of PPO versus an HMO model. But the healthcare itself is quite excellent.
Thank you. Okay. My next topic, I'm going to skip to the questions about you guys and your enterprise. I'm going to keep to the very end. Um, Overcoming for fear of relocation. So, people that
Yeah.
are 50s, 60s, even older, we're used to certain things. We used to go to the corner and get the milk at 8 p.m. or whatever it is. Um, there's some psychological issues that I have to let go of. And actually, we live in times of ascending and kind of letting go of a lot of stuff and embracing new. So maybe that's a great connection here. But the mental, emotional aspect of moving part time or full time to another country.
Go for it, Aaron.
Yeah. Yeah. That this is a big topic that I think not enough people think through before they make the move. It is it's something. It's a mindset change. This is a new life. You're starting a new chapter, and you have to be adaptable and flexible to new adventures. Otherwise, Costa Rica might not be the right place for you long term. I still have days where I scratch my head and think, "What the heck am I doing here? This is insane."
Yeah.
But the all of the beauty and the goodness that I've received in being in Costa Rica has far outweighed those moments of fear and anxiety. Once you're in the country for 6 months, things tend to get better. That fear tends to go away for most people that we work with. But part of our job, Patrick and I, we say we're part-time therapists as well, because we're helping clients think through, what are they afraid of, and how do we mitigate those fears?
But I think on top of that, I think that a key thing here is when you move anywhere, for anyone that moves, I mean, even if you're moving from two very drastically different parts of Canada, right? You're going to move to like Newfoundland, somewhere that's very different than where you were in Vancouver. There's a cultural shock because things just aren't done the same way. I think the biggest piece of advice we have is don't expect them to bend to you. Learn to adapt to them. This country's been here for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And it does not need another foreigner to come in and say, let me tell you how we can do it better. They don't listen to that, nor should they. We have to learn to adapt, and we're moving down there on purpose. We want to have a more relaxed way of life. We want to not be quite so, needing it right now, Amazon focused. When you get past that and you learn to just lean into this idea of Pura Vida, which isn't just pure life. It just means I'm okay with what it is right now, right? If your Pura Vida is, oh, shoot, my power went out. Well, okay, yeah. And it will come back, and you have a couple hours with candlelight and be romantic, even if it's just with your dog. But like, that's Pura Vida. We do a lot of this. I mean, one of the reasons we have a lot of our clients come down for scout trips first, and we always say, stay in an Airbnb, because that forces you to go to the grocery store and adapt and try things. You have to, as Aaron said, you have to give it time.
Yeah, very good. Okay, good. So my second last question, the last question is all about you guys. The second last question, which ties to the integrating into, is the community and socializing. So, for example, in Playa Lagarto, there is a thriving community, mostly Canadians. There's a chat group and there's a Facebook group, and people are helping and complaining and like living life, and like people come and go and whatever it is. What would you say to expect, and how to integrate if I'm going to move down for, maybe it's a gated community or a small town or whatever. In my case, it's a gated community, but it could be anywhere. Maybe a couple tips on integrating and finding new friendships and communalizing and socializing.
Aaron, I feel like Aaron dropped. Okay, I'll take this. I think this is such an important thing, trying to find your tribe.
Mhm.
WhatsApp, Facebook groups, both hugely good. I mean, hugely good. Wow, bad grammar. But both are really important. But also start, and this would be true no matter where you move, start thinking about what are the things that are important to you. A lot of life centers around restaurants, cafes. So, what's the cafe you're going to go hang out at on a Tuesday and just to spend your time? What is where do you want to volunteer? We do a lot of this with our clients is like, what are the things that are important to you? If yoga is your thing, you're going to find your tribe in yoga. If we have a client right now that has two boys, one needed baseball, the other theater. So finding a place where they felt comfortable, where they could thrive, their sons found the right schools, and we have an education specialist that does that, and then found the niches that help them, because once those kids had what they wanted, the parents of those kids are going to be their new tribe. So finding your tribe is critical. One thing we would say, Facebook groups, WhatsApp chats, a lot of people on WhatsApp, my community, I live in a gated community in Costa Rica as well. And the WhatsApp group tends to get very, whatever, certain people always want to talk. Take those things with a grain of salt. Take WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups. You can find great family and connection on Facebook groups, but there's just also a lot of crap that people say in any kind of online forum. So you can definitely use a Facebook group to find your tribe, but then know how to be selective about that. Don't let a Facebook group determine whether or not you're enjoying the country, because you're going to get a lot of people. It's just like anything. The people that are on any kind of chat group are either people that are super positive or super negative, and everybody in the middle goes, wow. Yeah. So find your tribe and then know how to tune some of that stuff out.
Very good. Aaron?
Yeah, sorry, my internet is just really not cooperating today. But I think, I'll echo what Patrick said. Finding local friends and foreign friends is really the key to your long-term survival in Costa Rica and enjoyment of Costa Rica. Don't just stay in your expat bubbles. Really branch out, get to know Ticos, and they want to get to know you, and they want to practice their English, and you will want to practice your Spanish. I think it's really a beautiful thing when you can come together and build a community of both Ticos and foreigners. And it's taken me a while. It's taken me 2 years to kind of to really settle in and make some really good friends. But once you do, life is good.
Very good. Thank you, boys. Here we are looking at your website. So the website is yourpuravida.com.
yourpuravida.com. You'll see that we have really 3 services: scouting, relocation, and schools. Our scouting service is exactly that. We help you think through what is the right place in Costa Rica. Is it Tamarindo? And if so, we'd love you to go meet with Yossi. If what you really want is the mountains, we'll help you figure out that. We start with a free 20-minute assessment. We then give you a survey to fill out that helps us figure it out. Then you get a free report that says, this is where we think you would fit in the best in terms of provinces. But then we help you with your scouting itinerary, everything from helping find the Airbnbs to everything you want to know about towns. The one thing to know about us is we don't do for you. We are not a concierge service. We believe very fully that the people that survive and thrive in Costa Rica are the people that learn to do for themselves. So be it scouting or relocation or schools, we'll do all the identification for you of what you need, how you need the options, but you have to actually pull the trigger and do it. The old adage, don't give a man a fish, teach a man to fish. We want to teach you to thrive. Right. And if you have schooling,
everything starts with a call, yeah?
Everything starts with the call, 20-minute free call. We are also developing a 4th product, which is just for retirees, because our relocation services are both for retirement and non-retirement. So There are uniquely different things if you're a retiree than a non-retiree. So we're actually splitting that service up into 2. We have an incredible school counselor that will help find the right schools for your kids. And yeah, we love what we do. We're very passionate. We don't want just people to move because they want to move. We want people to move that can thrive and become part of the fabric of Costa Rica. So that's our staff. Aaron, myself, Andrea, who's our education specialist, and Benjamin, who's our client specialist. Benjamin just posted he's in Vegas today. He's never been to the States before, and what a crazy place to start. We're a mighty team, 2 Ticos, 2 North Americans, and we'd love to work with you.
And we love hearing from people.
Yeah.
Hola at yourpuravida.com, HOLA at yourpuravida.com. Shoot us an email. We love to hear from people. We respond to everyone. Even if you have just a quick question about Costa Rica, we would love to answer it via email.
Yeah.
Very good. How did you guys get to like from whatever you were doing before to this?
Well, Aaron and I have known each other for a really long time. We actually met at church in the States, and Aaron moved down first. I moved down about a year afterwards, different parts of the country. Really, we did this because we had so many problems that we experienced in our own moves that we said, gosh, wouldn't it be good to be able to help others? I mean, that's my recollection of it, Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we made so many mistakes. And the thought was, what if we could share that with others and help others along the journey so that they don't make as many mistakes and they're able to really integrate into Costa Rica better.
Very good. Very good. Okay, we'll wrap it here. There's a lot more. Everyone knows how to contact you guys, and thank you for offering to answer questions just via email. I really appreciate that.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
Okay, maybe a word to close.
My word to close is come explore. Learn what you love, learn what you don't, but know that you're in really good hands. You know, Yossi's community is stunning. And if you end up in that part, it's a wonderful part of the country. The country has a lot to offer. Come find your piece and be excited about it.
Thank you.
And I would say, Pura Vida awaits. It's not only a physical move, but it's also a mindset and a heart move. And so be open to what life may bring in Costa Rica, and you'll be far better off for it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Aaron and Patrick.
Mucho gusto.
Mucho
Gracias.
gusto. Mucho gusto. That was absolutely amazing. And I thank you very much. And I'm sure we'll see each other soon.
It's our pleasure. Thanks so much for having us.
Pura Vida.
Pura Vida.